Can you imagine living here? Deep inside a forest next to a river. In this video we'll learn how this tiny house in southeast Belgium has been integrated into a forest landscape and how it's been made possible by a very modern Victron energy system.
We never thought we could find this in Belgium, and so all of a sudden it was there, so for us it was wow.
We just, in the search machine, we put cabin and water, and at one point there was an advertisement, Agence Immobilière. The two words were in the advertisement, so we came straight away.
Roel and Mick bought this isolated parcel of land 2 years ago with friends, with the goal of creating an idyllic retirement property embedded in nature, off-grid and stress-free.
We have been in the north of Europe for a few months during COVID, and when we first came here it's like, wow, this is Belgium.
The couple are retired dental surgeons, and after busy careers in practice, yearned for an escape from their hectic urban lives. Initially that took the form of van life across Northern Europe during lockdown, but they soon realised they needed somewhere more permanent.
So that was the main reason, to find a piece of land in Belgium where we could, whenever we wanted, we could stand and stay and have water and sun. It was quite overgrown, so everything was high, like 2 meters high. So in the beginning it was like a wild place, yeah.
And we got 3 cows just to eat everything clean. And so we had an idea how spacious it was, and then my job was to work with wild plants, just highlight the good things that were here.
Once the vegetation had been tamed, the couple turned their attention to the long neglected structure on site.
This building existed, but it was like built 40 years ago with cheap and not very good material, not healthy materials also. So we wanted to redo interior, exterior, change the insulation and roof, and make something very healthy. The roof existed of several layers of asbestos, so we had to take it off. Insulation was like foam, styrofoam, white styrofoam, but eaten by animals, so it was everywhere. So we knew we want to take everything out and do it better.
When you look at it now, it's quite the same. It was all metal plates, like a shed. But the good spot near the river on the island, so it's really was immediately, wow, we can make something from this here.
We dismantled everything and left the basic structure. So it was exactly the same surface, same. We didn't change too much, only redecorate.
Having spent 2 years on the road living in a van, they became all too aware of the need for rationing essentials like water, fuel and electricity, and this eco-frugality informed their approach to the tiny house build.
And so we thought, yeah, okay, that's what we want to do. We want to live like that, and so reduce also the footprint, our footprint, by doing what can we do ourselves. Okay, we are going to reduce the dimension of the house, go to a tiny house and do it completely that way. And of course, because it's so remote, we don't have any connections with, there's 4 kilometers away, there's electricity, but that's all.
As the structural build neared completion, Roel and Mick turned their thoughts to how to achieve their off-grid power requirements. After thorough research, there was only one company they trusted with the project.
We chose to work with Victron because it's one of the companies that can integrate all technique, and we can manage with the app on the phone, because it's like a quite high-end idea of integrating everything together, which is a little bit complicated. It hasn't been done so many times, and Victron has, I think, a lot of experience with that.
As the house is in a clearing, it gets good solar in the summer. This system has 3 Pylontech US 5000 batteries, a 48 volt 5 kVA Multi+2, MPPT RS 450-200, a Lynx distributor, a Serbo GX and screen, and in the outer room a Victron Energy EV charger. In the winter, they rely on a pellet fire for their heating and hot water needs.
The pellet stove warms the place for 20%. So 20% of the stove, of the capacity of the stove, will heat the house inside, and 80% will go to the boiler. Solar panels and solar energy will be just for lights, but lights here is like minimal of consumption. It's only 100 watt if maximum. If everything is on, all lights are on, inside, outside, then we consume maximum 100 watt. The boiler, which functions as a centerpiece, is connected to an electrical system for summer. So solar energy comes in, goes to the batteries, and is sent to the boiler. So the boiler heats up with electricity in summer, but then can provide warm water for shower and kitchen, but also for underfloor heating and radiators whenever we want in summer. When we don't have much solar, like in wintertime, we have the pellet stove, which is connected to this same boiler, and it warms up the boiler also, and which provides also the water for shower and heating. Once installed, everything's free. We don't pollute, and we don't have costs anymore for energy. So it's not like a game, or it's not like we are addicted, but we just are conscious about how to consume and when, which is a very nice feeling.
A silent place next to the water, because next to the water is a life. It's always, you hear the noise, you see the movement, it changes the whole time. You can go on the river with the boat.
Roel and Mick intend to continue where they left off, travelling the world. But now they'll always come back to this tiny, secret forever home next to a river deep inside a forest. Tim and Kathy have a small cabin deep in a Montana forest. Click on the link to check out their US adventure.